Oh, gosh. All right, hello, everyone. Welcome to Bubble Talk. Guys, everyone, today's the 29th Bubble Talk. I hope you guys are having an awesome week. I'm just laughing because there's something to laugh about where I am right now. But either way, give some cool shout-outs to those people who came early, for Yanlan, for Pooh, for Ravi, Kat, and Ichigo. Thanks for coming out early and just filling in the chat rooms over there in the YouTube channel. Let's take a look at the winners from last week's Bubble Talk, the free bubble tea winners, and we have Diane over there in the Philippines. I think there was someone else, but they haven't given the picture yet, so we'll probably have 3 pictures next week. Just want to say, what are you guys drinking? What are you guys drinking? Guess what I'm drinking is bubble tea because it's Bubble Talk. Ooh, mine is Earl Grey milk tea, no sugar, no bubbles, nothing added, just Earl Grey milk tea. Delicious. All right, cool. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful week, and we're going to start. I'm sure you guys have seen all the commercial we put out, right? The advertisement. Why is religion important? And it's an interesting question. A lot of people ask about this, okay? So everyone, sit back, relax, grab your drinks, your food, whatever you're eating right now, and let's just listen to today's Bubble Talk. All right, so let's take a look at world religions, okay? Because religion is such a big thing in this world, and you got to know how big religion is. Religion is so big that the vast majority of the world has a religion, right? If an actual belief in a religion, over 86% of the world believes in some type of religion. And if you include the people who believe in a higher being but don't actually have a religion but they're practicing on their own, it's well over 90%. So here's the thing. We have like over 90% of the world who believing in something, like 86% of the world that believe in a religion. But it also seems like there's a lot of people that question and kind of ask like, well, why do I need it, right? And I'm sure a lot of the young people today kind of look at religion like, it's kind of an old thing for old people. But you need to know why so many people are getting into religion, right? Because, you know, I know that the young people or many people today, they want to be informed why it's good for you or why it's good more than just, come on, man, just do it. Like for myself, my parents took me to church ever since I was born. You know what that means? Since I was, that's since I was born, right? So I never really even understood why I was going to church until I was like 19 years old. It took me like almost 20 years, okay? So just a quick reminder, guys, if you have any questions, just go ahead and pop those questions in here anytime you want, anytime during the talk, right? Because today is a very, very interesting talk that a lot of people have questions about. So it almost feels like a lot of people are asking about why religion? Do we have to get into religion? Now, one thing about religion is so huge, it's actually become a part of people's identities. And not just people, it becomes of like country's identity. Like if I'm in Malaysia right now, Malaysia is identified as a Muslim country, right? It's a Muslim country. America is a Christian nation. Philippines is like Christian nation. India is a Hindu nation, right? So when you kind of look at these different things, it's very interesting that religion plays such a huge role in people's lives that you can even identify countries by their religions, right? And it's not just about identifying countries. We identify societies, we identify like communities and groups, and also something really important is even individual people identify themselves with a religion. Like, haven't you ever heard this before? Hey man, so, and then someone says, I'm Christian, right? Like that identifies them. That's a really, really big part of people's lives. So what we're gonna talk about is what are the benefits of religion? And, there's questions like, is it even necessary? Do I really need a religion? Does it even matter if I have religion or not? Why do we even need religion, if at all? What's the point of having a religion? So, we're going to get into today's talk, and we're going to talk about why is religion important. So, first let's start with, what the heck is a religion, right? What is religion? So, if we get the definition of religion, what is it? It says, it is a social institution with a unified system of beliefs and practices that recognizes what is sacred. And you're like, what? Right? Like, what are you talking about? Social institution means, it brings a lot of people together, right? And we have one set of beliefs, and we practice things in a certain way, especially recognizing things that are sacred to us, right? Now, what is sacred doesn't literally mean it's sacred. It's what's sacred to the group of people there. Let me give you an example, right? Like what's sacred to like a Christian is like the cross. It's a sacred thing for them, right? For Jews, it's the Star of David. You know, you have all these symbols like the moon or the stars. And groups of people deem these things as to be sacred. And we have a system of beliefs and practices and rituals, right? And we have these rituals that people do in these religions that are recognizing what is sacred. Like for instance, Catholics, before they pray, what do? They're like, right? They're doing the cross, right? Before they pray. Another thing is like, because I'm Christian, one of the things is like baptism. Baptism is a ritual, and that water symbolizes the cleansing of my spirit, right? Or when Muslims pray, they prostrate themselves to surrender to God, God as their master, right? So we have these different things and different rituals and different things that we signify as sacred, right? And we have these sets of beliefs and practices that are recognizing these sacred things, okay? So that's what a religion is. So let's go one step further. We're going to talk about what are the social benefits of religion, okay? Like are there any types of benefits that we get from being in a religion? Number one, really, really good one, and I'm sure it's something that everyone would like, is this: unity and community, okay? If I were to take a look at a Bible verse for this that kind of shows unity and community, is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 14. And basically, it's like Paul urging the church to do what? You know, warn those who are idle and disruptive, encourage the disheartened, help the weak, be patient with them. It's a community, right? In a community, we're like one large family together with the same type of belief and the same types of goals, and we're helping each other, and it creates this community amongst a group of people. This is a great thing. People come together, right, into a religion, right, and they share certain things like what? They share symbols, they share values, and they share things that are norms to them, right? So it gives people something to connect to at a large level. So if you think about this, people go into a church, and some churches are like, you know, I know some churches that are like 50,000 people. Can you imagine being part of a place, 50,000 people, but you are all going there because you have a bigger purpose. This purpose of going to church is something even bigger than yourself. It is a huge reason, and everyone is a part of it, right? And people feel like they belong, right? They're in a large group gathering together with a purpose that is bigger than themselves. And they feel like they're part of this large group, and they're all connected, right? It is this unity and community that's being created. They are actually creating communities. And this is really important for human beings, is it creates a sense of belonging. And this is something that human beings really need. We are always looking for a tribe to belong to, right? We're always trying to belong somewhere. So when you look at this unity and community, one thing it really promotes is morality. And these are all things we want. Morality, fairness, justice, charity. Like these are all things that people want in a community. Like you don't want to go to a place that's unfair. You don't want to go to a place where people don't help each other. You don't want to go to a place where people don't know the difference between right and wrong, but everyone has the same thoughts of what is right and what is wrong. Right? You want a place that's fair. You want a place that is just. You want a place that people help each other without getting anything back. And you want a place where you feel comfortable and safe. Church becomes, or a religion becomes, that gathering place for people to come to. Right? And that's the first benefit of religion, is it brings unity and community. Now, the second social benefit, there's only two things I'm going to go over today. The second social benefit is called social control. You're like, what? That doesn't sound very good, like control. And actually, this is actually a good and big benefit, okay? Let's take a look at Romans chapter 6, verse 23. So if you look at the Christian religion, we have verses like this. It's like, the wages of sin is death. Ah, and you're like, no, I'm scared of dying. And it says the gift of God, eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord, right? So you have these two sides. One is good and one is bad. And what happens is there's, human beings, the one thing we don't like is having disapproval from friends and family. That's something we like to avoid. We don't want disapproval from our friends and family, right? It's true. But on top of it, when you have a religion, one of the big benefits is it provides you with something even bigger, where you don't want disapproval from God. You want to be on the good side of God. You want to always be in the good book, the book of life of God, right? And that is something that helps to control and brings order to society. Let's look at Christianity, Judaism. They have the 10 Commandments. And in the 10 Commandments, it kind of gives you the rules to live in a good society where everyone believes together, right? And it's good if no one murders, right? It's good if no one steals, if no one cheats, if no one lies, right? And it's good for what? It's good to obey your parents. These are all good rules, right? It helps society, it gives social control. Can you imagine if everyone had different rules? Let's just take a look at 5 people in the same room. 3 of them think that murder is bad. 2 of them think it's okay. Do you think that place would be safe? Like, would you want to be in a place like that? Imagine being trapped in a room where 3 of you think murder's okay. Like, 3 of you are like don't want to murder, and 2 people are okay with murdering. How scared would you be every day? But when you have religion, it brings social control, where everyone understands what's going on and they know what is right and what is wrong, right? They all have the same set of beliefs, the same set of rules. And because we believe in this higher being that will judge us, we don't want to do the bad things. So in that sense, it is a good thing, right? Because I know sometimes you do want to kill your sister. Sometimes you do want to kill your friends. But you won't, right? You're not going to kill your friends and family, right? Right. Okay, cool. Just checking, right? So it's a good thing that there's social control. So that's another great thing about religion. That's a social benefit. But I'm going to get something a little bit more, something that's more relevant to you guys right now. And I'm going to talk about personal benefit of religion, okay? Something that's personal to you. And this is something that is super important. And the first thing, and I think one of the most important things is the benefit of religion, having this higher being, is morality, right? The different knowing between right and wrong. Right? So for myself, I look at the words of God coming from God. And there's a verse like Psalms chapter 119, 105 that says, your word, the words of God, is a lamp for my feet, a light unto my path. It shows me the direction of how I should live. What's the right way? What's the wrong way? Right? Now you're thinking to yourself, well, why do I need religion to show me between what is right and what is wrong? Because I want you to think about this. Think about this. If there was no religion, like you don't have any religion ever in the world, there was no God, there's no higher being, nothing, who would decide what is right and what is wrong? Right? You got to think about that. Who would actually decide between what is morally right and morally wrong? Who would decide? Who determines what is right and what is wrong? Right? There is no standard to follow. There's no higher being when you say, okay, this person knows more than me, they're higher than me, there's a standard there, I'm going to follow that standard, like a God or a higher being standard, right? If there's no God, if there's no religion, you wouldn't know what exactly was right and what is wrong. Let me give you an example. And like when you have a moral right and wrong, like it comes from any religion, like a God in any religion, it tells you don't murder. Right? So we think to ourselves, oh my gosh, God doesn't like murder, so we shouldn't murder. It's wrong. Why? Because God, the higher being, says so. But can you imagine if there was no the religion and there was no higher being, could you determine that yourself? Could you say to yourself, I command myself to kill someone because we don't need them, right? Like, do we really need old people? We should kill all of them when they hit 55, right? What about the people who are handicapped? What about the people who are like no good to society? We should just kill them, right? Because it'd be better for everyone else. We don't have to drag these people, put them into nursing homes. Oh my goodness, right? Yeah, rationally it makes sense, but do you think you could command yourself to? Hey, Sky, just kill them. And what would you honestly think to yourself? Would you be like going, yeah, that's good, Sky. Yeah, I should kill them. Or would you kind of think it's kind of silly? And you would think about it like, should I kill? Would that be the right thing? Imagine this. Imagine even someone like your teacher or someone who's a little bit higher than you and they say to you, go kill that person. Would you be like, oh, that makes sense. All right, let's do it. Or would you be like, oh, is that right? Should I do that? You got to think about it. At a human level, who knows what is right? The moment you take out this religion, this God up there, we have no idea. We would just look at the world right now. Okay? Like even the fight at the large level of communism versus democracy. Like who would even come up with these things? right? And then in China, whatever, you can like just kill people because you're the government. You know, you can make sure they don't talk. And they believe that's the right way to do it. But then another side, no, this is the right way to do it. And then another person said this. Can you imagine how would we come up with set rules that would actually make sense for everyone? This is why religion becomes super important. Because if you have a religion and there's a set of beliefs that you believe is coming from a higher being that created all things, that knows all things, it's very, very easy to follow that set guideline of what is right and what is wrong. If you took religion away, there would be no such thing as morality. Everyone could just live the way they want. It'd be chaos. But because we have religion, religion allows us to understand between what is right and what is wrong. The moment you take it away, we have no idea who determines it, right? Just like I'm saying, look at right now during the pandemic, look at how many protests, how much violence, how much killing. Look at all these things going on. Are they all right? Right? We got to think about that carefully. That's why the first and most important thing is having a religion and having that higher being, it brings morality into the picture. You have a higher standard to look at. The moment it's gone, anyone could do anything they want and no one would know what is right and what is wrong. It's all about yourself. And we all know that we don't all make the right decisions all the time. The second thing, and I also think is important for you guys personally, is a sense of meaning and purpose, right? You know, there's got to be a sense of meaning and purpose, and this is something that's very interesting with human beings. And this is something that I've been to over 20 countries, like 23 countries so far. I've met so many people around the world, and the number one question everyone gives is why am I here? What's the purpose? Why am I living? What's the purpose of life? That's the number one question. They don't know why they're living, right? So if you look at Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11, what it says is, He is talking about God, has set eternity in the human heart. And no one can fathom what God has done from the beginning to the end. What does He set in our hearts? Eternity. What does that mean? It means that we know that there's something beyond. We know that there's something bigger about life itself. But if we look at life without religion, what would be the purpose? What's the reason of living? Is it just for money? Really? Is it just for money? Is it just to have a house? There's so many people have lived with a house. So many people have money. So many people have this and that. There's so many different things. And a lot of people, even when they're rich, would commit suicide wondering, what's the meaning in life? What's the purpose? And one thing that religion does bring into the picture, it answers a question when, everyone's felt this before. When you feel so small in this world and you wonder why you even matter. Right? You feel so small, like, well, what if I don't exist? What difference would it make? This is why people commit suicide. This is why people go into depression. They have no idea why they're living. There's no meaning in their life. And this is one of the big things that religion brings in, is a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose. One of the things that kills people is a sense of meaninglessness. I'm not important. Anything I do makes no difference. But religion, believing in this God, right? It brings purpose into the picture. Why? Think about it. If there's someone that created us, then there's got to be a reason they did it. You just got to find out that there's got to be a reason for it, right? There's got to be a reason. You don't just create out of nothing for no reason, right? It's the same thing with us. According to the Bible, it says that we're created in God's image and likeness. And if you think about it, every time we create something, we don't create for no reason. It's not like, hey, it's like, what is that? It's a straw. Why'd you make it? I don't know. It's just like, I like long things with holes. And that's why I made it. No one does that. Everyone has a reason. Like, every single thing has a reason. And we know that, hey, if there's a creator out there, if I can contact or communicate or connect with that creator, then I can figure out why he made me. And that is the biggest and the most asked question ever. Why am I living? What's the purpose of life? Why am I here? Right? Religion puts you in a place where you see yourself, your small little you, in God's grand, great plan. You're part of something bigger, right? And it brings meaning into your life. It answers the questions like, why was I born? Why do I exist? What is the purpose of my life? What's the point of living? And these are all things that we know deep in our hearts there's something bigger. Like that verse we just read, it said, God has set eternity in our hearts. We know there's something bigger. We know there's something that's going to happen after, right? So finding a creator, who he is, allows you to get that answer. Why are we here? Okay? And on top of all these other different things, there are so many great benefits individually for you believing in a religion and having a God, right? Like for instance, this is a stat in America, okay? One of the most loneliest people in America are single women, single mothers, right? But this is a stat. Single mothers who go to church once a week are 5 times less likely to commit suicide. 5 times just for going to church once a week. Sense of meaning, sense of belonging. Right? Another one, those who pray 15 minutes a day. I mean, guys, I'm talking about this. If you pray 15 minutes a day, girls are going to love this one. You will age slower. It is proven that if you pray 15 minutes a day, you will age slower. That is a reason just for you to start checking out a religion. I'm dead serious for the girls, right? You don't want to age quick. Start praying 15 minutes a day. If you pray 15 minutes a day, what else happens? You lower your blood pressure. You lower hypertension. You lower the chances of depression. You lower the chances of suicide. These are all just from these practices and rituals that come from religion itself, right? This is something that we look at, hey, some of us might not know exactly what's going on in that religion, but we do know that there is a benefit that's bigger than, like, it's helping. Why? Think about it. I'm depressed. Go get a religion, right? Why do we know? Because if you pray 15 minutes a day, you're going to be less depressed, less chance of committing suicide. And if you're a woman, which is probably going to be just the same for men, is, hey, guess what? You're 5 times less likely to commit suicide if you go to church just every Sunday, just once a week, right? So many different things that are beneficial of religion, and we see that the result is big, and the actual journey of getting into religion and understanding and learning about it, that is a personal thing between you and God. But you can see that the result is always good. It's a great result, okay? So I'm very grateful and thankful that all of you listened today on why is religion important, okay? So everyone take a sip. This is the end of today's talk. Those of you who are here for the first time, go ahead and click on that like button if you're on Facebook. Follow us all the way on Espresso with Sky because we have 28 other Bubble Talks on that channel. Just click subscribe, smash that notification bell. Also, for those of you first time on YouTube, Espresso with Sky channel, just click subscribe and kill that notification button. It will tell you every time we go live and every time there's a new video uploaded. Also, if you want to support this ministry, we are on Patreon and you can support us, and we're going to click the link below. We're going to set up the link for you guys there. And this Saturday, everyone, 1 p.m., we have group Bible lessons. For those of you who want to take that personal journey, we're doing it together, guys. There's a good group of us right now. Hong Kong, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Mongolia. We've had people from everywhere, from Sri Lanka. Ravi, I know you're there, right? We have people from everywhere that are joining these talks, right? So we're going to get you into small groups where you guys can have a mentor that can help you out with these different things too. So fill in that sign-up form and we'll email you the Zoom link. And guess what today, guys? Today we're giving out some bubble teas too. So somewhere in the question answer, we're going to give you the question. And then at the very end, we'll tell you who the winner is going to be. So everyone take a sip of your bubble tea, and then we'll begin the question and answer. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right, let's go to the first question. First question is all the way over there. Who is it? David in Kuala Lumpur. David in Kuala Lumpur asks, there are so many religions. How do you choose the right one, or how did you choose? Okay, so when it comes to choosing the right one, first thing is you want to, like David, it's good that you're serious about it because you want to be serious, right? You're not going to just choose anything. Why? Because my parents told me to go there, or because my family is Christian, I want to be Christian, or because my aunt, uncle, my grandfather was Muslim, I want to be Muslim, right? You got to think about this carefully and say, okay, so this is my life. How do I know which one's right, which is wrong? And you have to figure out where can you get the answer that you're looking for is, why am I here? Right? For myself, I'm just telling my personal journey. I would, like I said, I was Christian, born into the faith with my parents, everything else. I went to their church until I was 19. Until I was 15, because after that, I stopped going to church because I was like, I don't want to go to church because I don't even know why I'm going, right? And then at 19, I decided to really figure out what is the the best way to do it. And for myself, I was looking for the answer of, who am I? Like, why am I here? What's the purpose of life? And in my head, I thought to myself that I'm going to go to the religion where they can teach me the best of who I am, right? Because if the Creator is truly in that religion, if it's truly there, the strongest, then they should be able to teach about me more than anyone else, right? So I took a world religions class in my university, just went over I went studying a little bit of Islam, studying some Buddhism, studying some Hinduism, and then Catholicism, and then eventually, because I was already Christian before, I went back to that, and I was able to choose the one that I felt was, wow, this is the one really answering my questions, and this is why I became Christian, right? So it took research, and I really looked into it, and I studied it too. So that's how I got into it, and I chose this one here. Thank you. Good question, David. Let's go to the next question over there in Singapore. Stella in Singapore asks, it seems that religion is also used for terrible things. Okay, this is a good question. Doesn't that make religion not beneficial? And the answer is yes and no. Right? Because this is true. There have been some terrible things happening in every religion. Every religion has these extremists, right? They're fundamentalists that are a little bit too strong, and like everyone else in the religion is just like, oh my gosh, where do these people come from, right? Yeah, you have Islamic extremists, you have Christian fundamentalists, right? You have them everywhere, okay? And this is the way that I would look at it. Imagine your family had 10 people in the family, and your family's amazing. Amazing family, so amazing, so just loving family, except for one. There's one black sheep. And what happens is someone meets that one black sheep, and they come in and then they judge the entire family and say, oh, your entire family is like this, kind of thing, right? And you would think it's unfair because you know that 9 out of 10 are okay, but people are judging you by that one person, even though 90% are fine. And this is the same with every religion, every family, every company, every church. There's always good and bad. So how would you judge them properly, right? You judge them by who is the best, not by who is the worst, right? Because the best, say for instance, when it comes to Christianity, we have to judge it by Jesus. Whoever is at the top of that area of what you can actually become. Human beings have a choice to take the path or do whatever they want. And that's why some people go to church, not because of faith or religion, but they go there because they want to find a cool girlfriend, or there's a cute girl there, or a cute guy there, or they want to make more money because a church is where they connect with more people for business. There's so many different reasons, but the best way to look at it is whether it comes to Islam, whether it comes to Christianity, whether it comes to Buddhism, you have to look at the best of the best. Right? To know this is what it's supposed to be like, right? And from there, that's why we're not learning from those people who are bad seeds. We're learning from the people who are the best, right? So yeah, that would be my suggestion. Yeah, there are some terrible things that happen because of religion, and religion has become such a big part of each society. You're going to have good and bad all the time, right? But my suggestion is you should be judging more by what is the highest potential more than who is the lowest on the ladder, because every company, every religion, every family has bad seeds, right? It doesn't mean the whole family is bad. Okay, thank you, Stella in Singapore. Let's go to the next question. Next question is Yanlan in KL. Yanlan in KL, and the question is, we have different religions, but why do we have the same Satan? Well, you could look at this very philosophically too. It's possible you could look at it as we all have the same God, right? So think about it. It's possible that everyone has the same God, just as you have this. Let's pretend in the end. Let's just pretend that there is only one, and there's only one Satan. There's only one God, right? But you have a bunch of religions that form because you have a lot of people that are interpreting at different levels. It's possible, right? And then you have a lot of people on the downside. You have lots of people at different levels that are following Satan, right? The one thing that is true about all religions is there is a good force and a bad force, right? And when you start to study a lot of religions at the basic level, it's almost similar. Good God, and then there's like a bad entity, and then you have a prophet or some person that leads people on the earth, right? And you have to live a good life to go to heaven, or you live a bad life and you go to the bad side, like the hell. right? So it's not all the same Satan, because not everyone calls him Satan, and not everyone calls God the same name. Is it possible it's the same Satan? Yes, it is. If in the end there's only one God and one Satan, then everyone is dealing with the same God and the same Satan, which is possible. Or what if there's multiple gods and multiple Satans, right? So the one theme that you are going to see, Yanlan, is always good and bad, good God, bad God, and then a person that is sent to steer people in the right direction. And if you look at the very basic level of religion, most religions have the exact same rules. Like, there's no religion that says kill everyone. There's no religion that says steal from everyone. No religion says commit adultery on everyone, right? There's no religion. At the basic level, it's all similar rules and laws, and it's very, very similar when it comes to like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder, right? But it's hard to say that different religions, all different gods, but they all have the same Satan. And the answer is there are many names for Satan, right? From different religions. Is it the same Satan? Well, that's something we need to figure out. Okay, thank you, Yanlan. Let's go to Tina. Tina in Jakarta. Where's Jakarta? Indonesia. Okay, I know. All I know from Jakarta is they got good coffee, right? Jakarta, right? Should we learn about other religions before deciding on one? And that's, personally for myself, I needed to know. And I also know that there's some people that don't need to know. Like, they know exactly where they are and why they're there, and they have the purpose and reasoning, right? So it is something that people, I don't think it's a bad thing to know, to have knowledge. Oh, so Islam is about teaching about this. Oh, Buddhism is about this, right? So I learned a little bit here and there because I'm looking like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But can they teach me about my purpose? What is my purpose? Is my purpose to become nothing? Like, I don't know if that was like, I don't know if that's really a purpose. I'm like, I don't know if that feels right, or does it make sense, right? So you got to kind of, look at those things, research them. I don't think it's a bad idea. Researching is fine. Yeah. Researching, see what they think about what heaven is like, right? So, and before deciding on one, yeah. So Tina, if you want to start learning about other religions before deciding on one, I do suggest, Tina, come over and on this Saturday at 1 p.m., go sign up and you can learn about Christianity there too. Cool. All right, let's get into the quiz. What is the name of the new movie by Christopher Nolan? Oh, yeah. What is the name of the new movie? It just came out. And the name of the movie, it's front and backwards is the same name, right? It's like Hannah. Like Hannah's like spelt where forwards and backwards is still spelt the same, right? What is the new name of the new movie by Christopher Nolan? And I've chosen a secret number, and whoever answers it on that number will get the free bubble tea for the day, or for the week actually, all right? What is the name of the new movie by Christopher Nolan? Cool, the person in that movie is one of them is from Twilight, or Pattinson. There's also those of you guys don't know, John David Washington. He's a black dude. He's a main actor, and guess what? He is Denzel Washington's son. As crazy as that sounds, yeah. So he's got good blood in him. Okay, so let's go to the last question of the day. Last question is Mia in Japan. Wow, Mia sounds new. I don't think I've ever seen Mia. Mia, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if this is maybe the first time you have a question. Mia in Japan. How can we believe in something that we cannot see? Well, I'm going to give you this in a very simple, easy way. How can we believe in something that we cannot see? So let's kind of take a look at the human mindset. Are there things that you believe in that you don't see? And what is the reasoning we have? Okay, so Mia, right now in your mind is, if you cannot see, you cannot believe, right? So if I see, I can believe. If I cannot see, I cannot believe. However, think to yourself is, there are some things that we don't see that we do believe. Example, wind. I can't see it, but why do I believe it? And the answer is, I believe in wind because there's a result. I can feel it. I can see it move things around, right? Yeah. See, when you look at things, there are some things that are invisible, like air. We don't see it, but we still believe in it. Why? We breathe it in and we live, right? What about love? Love is something we cannot see, but we believe it because we have a result, the feeling in our hearts and that attachment, the desire for that person. So in our minds, you can't say just because you cannot see doesn't mean you don't believe. You have to understand is, well, There are things in life that I cannot see, but I do believe because I see a result. So what is the result of God, right? How can I believe in a God when I don't see God? Well, there are results. And people will say, well, where did we come from? What about creation? Looking at plants and trees and animals so intelligently designed, they couldn't just be random. Like, wow, these are so crazy. And I'm going to tell you about human beings and how amazing human beings are, because human beings are so amazing to the point where you know there's a design. There's a literal design of human beings. Let me show you, okay? So look at your body. You have a body here, right? Which is this one big thing. How many things stick out of your body? 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. So 5 things. So one big part and 5 things stick out, which is 1 plus 5, right? Look at the very end of your hand. One big palm, and how many things stick out? 5. 1 plus 5. Look at your feet. You have a big foot and 5 things, 5 toes, which is 1 plus 5. Everything is 1 plus 5. Look at your head. You have a big head. How many holes do you have? Your eyes don't count because they're covered. You have 2 in the nose, 2 in the ears, 1 in the mouth. What is it? 1 plus 5. It is absolute design when you think about it. It's not like 1 plus 6 and 2 plus 17 and 3 plus, it's all exactly the same. And when you look at animals, it's not even that far away because they just have, instead of 2 arms, 2 legs, they have like 4 legs, right? It's always 1 plus 5. 1 plus is exactly the same thing, right? Look at the way everything is designed. And that's why even when it comes to God, we do see results of God. For instance, people praying for someone and they're healed. That is a result where people would say, okay, I believe, right? Haven't you ever heard of someone being healed of cancer? After that, they're like, I believe. Why wouldn't you? If someone prays in the name of God and then you get healed of cancer, which cannot be done, right? So that is why that's how you can kind of figure out in your brain how you can believe in something that you cannot see. Very, very easy. Great question, Mia. Thank you so much. Now, this is the last question of the day. Last question is from Paula Hamoli. All right. Paula Hamoli from the Philippines. Yes, Paula. Second question, I think. I remember you having another question before. Some people would say, let's just agree to disagree when I talk about religion. What would be the best way to deal with such a situation? It is to do exactly that. Is just agree to disagree. When a conversation gets to the point is let's agree to disagree, it basically means that both sides are not going to budge, which means you're not going to convince the other, right? One thing when it comes to religion is, and especially like for myself as a Christian, our job is not to force people to believe or to like throw it in them. If they choose not to believe, it's okay. It's okay. Right? Because I did what I'm supposed to do. I try to explain. They don't agree. That's fine. And we agree to disagree and we part ways. Does that mean, oh no, I don't care about them? No, what I truly believe is there was a seed that was planted in their heart. Right? There's a seed that's planted that someone else is going to water. Someone else is going to cultivate. Why? Because what I do know is, even for myself, I was in church. And the first time I accepted Christ when I was 10 years old, which means that I was born in the church. It took me 10 years to finally accept Christ, and it took me another 9 years after that to finally grasp it. It took me 19 years. There's no way you could have forced it into me earlier than that, right? Everyone has their timing. Sometimes you meet people out of time. It's okay, right? Just agree to disagree, and it's okay. But you've planted the seed. You've put some knowledge in there. And always leave, never burning bridges, but always leaving the bridge for them to come back later to talk to you if they ever have these questions too. So if you agree to disagree, actually that's great, I think. Then, it's telling you that both of you are at a standstill and no one's going to convince the other, and it's okay. Yeah, there's no need to go any further, right? No need. And it's okay. You're planting the seed, and that's good. That's good enough. All right, cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for a wonderful bubble talk today. Why is religion important? I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Let's take a look at what number are we looking at today. Ooh, which answer? The actual answer is tenet. Tenet. I hope you guys saw it. I saw it, and I'm confused. Okay, right. What number? Number 2. So the second answer gets the bubble tea for today. Who is the winner today? Arianto Dermawan from, Ari. Ari from Indonesia. Ari from Indonesia and Iling from Malaysia. Is this Iling second? Wow. No? First? Elaine from Malaysia, Ari from Indonesia. Please send us an email, espressowithsky@gmail.com, and we will send you your free bubble tea. All right, everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing weekend. We'll see you guys again. Those of you on Saturday, we'll see you at 1 p.m. Everyone, till next week on the next Bubble Talk, we'll see you guys again. Bye-bye.
We believe in the same God, but we are on different levels.